Guess what?
50-50
Your willpower
chance.
is going to suck when stuffing is in front of your face. You can have the best willpower in the world. Like, that is it. That's sitting right there. Like, come on.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it's
eat the
not
whole
happening.
thing.
Please go.
Are you gonna drink while I'm introducing us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Welcome back to the channel. This is Jessica. She can't wait 2 seconds to drink water. So this is Jessica. I'm Melissa, and today we're gonna talk about how to not overeat through the holidays, which is very, very important and very timely, and it's gonna be a great topic, so you're welcome. Before we get into the video, make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and then click the little bell, and that's going to give you notifications every single time that we go live. That way you never miss a video. That was really well done.
Thank you.
You really did a good job. You nailed that one.
Got a
You're
solid-
getting better.
solid
It's
night
been
of sleep last
April,
night.
May, June, July, August, September.
October.
We're going October. We're going
7
on
months.
8 months. It took you 8 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of two things up front. Why are you smiling like an idiot?
Because
What is there to smile about?
I was just thinking, I was totally spaced out. I don't even know what you said. I was just daydreaming about you and your future children and how they're just going to be like, Mom's me, and I'll just be the nice aunt. And
You won't be the nice aunt. No,
well,
they're
yes,
gonna
I
know
will.
I don't want to go to Jessica's
That's not
because
true.
she's not gonna feed me, and she doesn't even know I'm here. Okay,
Sorry.
So, how to not overeat through the holidays. So, two things. You wanted to step out of this one.
Alright. Never mind, it's okay.
No. Here.
No, no, man, no.
No, I'm just gonna, no.
Okay, how to.
I got it. Okay, so how to not overeat through the holidays. I think that there's really like two things.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't pull together. It's because of you. Stop. Put it down.
What am I doing?
I'm done. Let's go.
Don't start yelling at me. Okay, so how to not overeat through the holidays. So I think there's really two things that you essentially need to do to set yourself up to not overeat through the holidays. So number one is you're reverse dieting this time of year. If you don't know how to reverse diet, or if you're not understanding why this is the best time of year to reverse diet, we just did a video on why this is the best time of year to reverse diet, so make sure you go check that out. And then number two is you really should be calorie cycling, because calorie cycling is going to give you structured higher calorie days where you can enjoy the more indulgent holiday foods this time of year. We just did a whole video on that one as well, of how to set up your calorie cycle through, November, December, even into January. So make sure you go check that one out. The third thing, which I want to talk about today, is really just kind of being mindful and not going into the holiday season thinking like, this is my only chance to eat these foods ever, and so I might as well just like go for it and then just wait until January and then just go on a restrictive diet again.
Yeah, I think that the problem with the holidays and with dieting is that, number one, people like focus on the holidays as a time to try to lose weight, which you shouldn't be doing, which, like you said, go check out that video and you'll understand why you shouldn't be doing that. I think the second thing is that the diet industry has kind of built up this time of year, and just in general, to make us all believe that our like health and fitness goals have to be like diametrically opposed to enjoying our life, right? Like, you have to pick one or the other. You cannot, be successful in your weight loss or your health and fitness while at the same time, enjoying time with your family, eating those treats guilt-free, and, having like more food freedom, right? So a lot of times what happens around this time of year is like we start to develop this like FOMO, right? Like fear of missing out, fear of being overly restricted, fear of, being deprived when everyone else is just getting to like enjoy their lives. And like you said already, calorie cycling is something that we use with our clients to help them not feel that way. And we reverse diet all of our clients to maintenance around this time of the year to help them not feel that way. So highly recommend that you do both of those things. But I really think it's, this kind of restrictive, like restrict and binge cycle, or this all or nothing mindset that causes us to go into the holidays with that propensity to overeat. So do you want to like talk about what that usually looks like when people like save up calories like for the week before or even the day of?
Yeah, I think just like really quickly before we go into that, just to kind of like zoom out, if you pay attention to the diet industry's marketing, right? Like during these months, what are they marketing? They're marketing for like January 1st diets.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. If you're not really paying attention to it and you're just kind of like bopping about life and like you're hit with all these like advertisements about like January 1st, to you, subconsciously, that starts to tell you, okay, so maybe like I should just go for it during the holidays and just like eat, because like if they're telling me to wait until January 1st to diet, then why would I diet now?
It's like
it's a lost cause,
right? Like you get a free pass to like not have to worry about dieting.
And it almost just like makes you feel like it's a lost cause. It's never happened any other year where I've been able to stick to my diet. I might as well just wait for January 1st, and this year I'm going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think then kind of like going back to like what you were saying of like what happens then, like when you're in that mentality, you're still kind of trying to hold on at this point of just like, I'm still trying to stay to my diet, but maybe I'm just gonna like starve myself a little bit like leading up to the holiday, and then so I can enjoy the foods and like not be over in calories.
Because you're also like being confronted, right? Like even if you do take that mind, like that screw it mindset, and like, yeah, everyone's telling me to start January 1st, so I'll just wait until January 1st and I'll really hit it hard like January 1st. You're still having those opportunities where you feel fluffy, you feel uncomfortable, your clothes don't fit, and you have to go to different holiday parties or work events or see family members that you really don't feel like seeing, that you know are gonna probably make some type of like bitchy comment. And so you're still like in that place where you're struggling of like, I still want to feel good and I want to look good and I don't want to like roll up to Thanksgiving dinner feeling like
you don't want to roll. No, you know what? You don't want to go to Thanksgiving being the turkey on the table. You want to eat the turkey on the table. Like that's my motto for like this time of year. Is like
the stuffed turkey
don't
on
be
the
the
table.
stuffed turkey on the table. Like eat the turkey on the table. And so what happens is, because you like have this warped mindset, because for all the years that you've been dieting, you think in your head, okay, let me just like almost kind of starve myself or like super like restrict my calories right now. That way I can go into Thanksgiving Day and be able to eat whatever I want and not really feel that guilty because I haven't eaten. And the problem with that is it doesn't work that way, number one. And number two, like you are setting yourself up to overeat probably twice as much as you would if you just ate like a normal human being the day before and the day of Thanksgiving.
And like the weeks leading up to it too. Like I think that that's such an important piece. And because what happens is when like you go into that, like with that mindset of I'm starving, I'm not eating, you are setting yourself up for the opportunity to have to flex the shit out of your willpower. And let's be honest, the more that you have to flex your willpower, the more opportunities you're giving your willpower to win, right? Like
guess what? Your willpower is going to suck when stuffing is in front of your face. I don't care how you can have the best willpower in the world. Like that's sitting right there. Like, come on.
Yeah,
you're gonna eat the whole thing.
It's not happening.
Right.
That's kind of like the thing. Like we don't want to like have to test your willpower, right? And so by going into an event, like walk through what goes on in your mind when you go into an event and you haven't eaten like the 3 days beforehand, and then you haven't eaten the morning of, and then there's like the appetizers that are all out, and then the dinner. Like, what's the thought process that like goes on in your head?
You're almost kind of like confronted with all these foods, and you're like, this is my one shot to eat everything and get it in, and tomorrow I'm gonna be good. This is why you feel like shit at the end of the night, and this is why you feel really, really awful the next day. Let's start with like appetizers. Appetizers go out, you haven't eaten breakfast, you've eaten nothing, like you're just like literally starving, everything goes out. You are filling your plate, like I'm watching you. You're filling your plate with everything that's there, and like you keep going back for more.
Even if you don't like it, or even if you don't want it, just because it's there and you're like, this is my one day, like you go for it, right?
You're doing that starting with appetizers, okay? Same thing with the drinking. You're probably drinking more than like you normally would because you're dehydrated, because you've barely had anything all day. And then you go into Thanksgiving dinner, and there's every dish that's there from like your aunt who you don't really like, but she made it and you just kind of have to eat it to make her feel better, and your grandmother who's like doesn't got a lot of time left, so you're like, I might as well eat her stuff that, so she doesn't feel bad, and you're just kind of eating everything to get it all in. And then dessert comes, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like our family, there's like dessert just covers the table. Like I think our grandmother makes like 10 pies.
That it's ridiculous.
Nobody's gonna eat. And so then that comes, and you're like, well, I'm fucking stuffed, but let me just get this in because I'm never going to be able to eat this again.
It's my one day, so I can't, like, I already have to unbutton my pants, like, by the time dessert comes, and then you see all of it, and you're like, I feel like I'm going to vomit, but I'm still going to, like, eat all of the desserts just because it's my one shot.
And I'm talking about Thanksgiving here. This is, like every holiday, like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, like whatever it is, this happens like every single holiday when you're in this mentality. The way that like we like help our clients navigate this is don't go into the day starving yourself. Number one, if you're doing everything right, you're reverse dieting this time of year and you're on a calorie cycle. So that's already going to eliminate the majority of your problems. And then, was that number 1 and 2 or number 1? Number 1. That was number 1, reverse dieting, calorie cycle. Number 2 is, even if you're doing that, but you're still kind of new to this, it still can feel a little bit daunting to go into the day and be like, oh, I don't know, like I don't have my coach to text, or like I'm kind of like nervous, I'm not going to be able to like control myself. And so what we say is the day of the holiday, you want to wake up, have breakfast. Okay, like you want to eat something and not just save all your calories for all the overindulgent foods, because you want to kind of like load your stomach with like more wholesome foods when you can, get protein in, kind of like start your day on a really solid foundation. Okay, you also want to get your water in, you want to get your steps in. Okay, so those are like the 3 things that you absolutely can control before anyone even arrives at your house, before you go anywhere.
And I just want to like kind of offshoot from that, because I think that's like how we need to start our day, like with that foundation, because you either are in that mindset where you're going in of like, you know, it's my one day to get everything in, right? Or you're going in with the mindset of like, I'm going to battle and be really, really good, and I'm not going to like eat anything until you finally like snap, and then you're in a place where like you eat everything in sight. But either way, you're going into this event feeling very hungry, very restricted. And then when that willpower finally snaps, either it snaps before the holiday even starts, the event even starts, or it snaps in the middle of the event, eventually that's going to lead to overeating. So by giving yourself that solid foundation of, I already have some protein, I've already had a meal, I've had some water, like you've already filled up your stomach to the point where like your body is telling your brain, hey, I'm satiated, like I feel full, I feel good. So when you actually go into the event, you're not going to feel like I'm starving and I need to eat everything, right? Like think about when you go grocery shopping, right? Like if you're on an empty stomach or you're starving when you're grocery shopping, you like load up your cart with everything. But if you go in there and you're stuffed and you just ate, you're full, like you're gonna just get the things that you need. And that's
it's the same
how
thing.
It works
it's the
during
same
these
thing.
events.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. And so if you're like going into the actual holiday and you already have a good foundation in your stomach, like you feel like you got some movement in, you have like you're hydrated, then what happens is when all the appetizers come out, like look at it and like just try to be present and like actually enjoy the foods that you want to have. So I would say like pick 2 or 3 things that's on the table and be like, these are the things I want to have. I'm going to fill up my plate with it. I'm going to go sit down and like actually eat it and actually enjoy myself for once, and not worry about like, I have to kind of scarf this down to go get more before anyone sees it. And you're kind of almost like closet eating to try to just get things in. Pick the things you actually are looking forward to, that you like truly enjoy, and eat that. And the same thing for Thanksgiving dinner, for dessert, like pick the things you actually want. Put your fork down in between bites, like chew slowly. The food is still gonna be there, and guess what? The food's gonna be there tomorrow, like the next day, where you're gonna want to eat leftovers. Like everyone eats leftovers.
That was one of the biggest things I think for me, because like for so long I lived in that mindset like of today is my one day to like get all of this food in. And one of the best tricks that I ever learned was just to extend the event. And we teach our clients this like through calorie cycling, to give yourself a number of high days around the event. That way it takes the pressure and the stress off of you of feeling like you have to hoard all of your food in that, 6-hour window, because you're never gonna have the opportunity to get it ever again.
Yep.
And so for us, like, we know that going into Thanksgiving, we're gonna have Wednesday when we're cooking, and we're probably gonna indulge a little bit more. Thursday, actual dinner. Friday, we're gonna have leftovers. Saturday, leftover, like throughout the weekend. Yeah. And so we give ourselves that grace to say, okay, I don't have to get everything in the 6-hour window, because I'm going to be able to eat it the next day and the next day and the next day. And it almost takes like the allure or like that draw that you get from the food of being like, you're so obsessed, like you're so like hyper fixated on it, when you know that this is really not that special because you get to eat it for the next like 4 days in a row.
Yeah, and I think though, like, it is special, but it's not something where you have to be, like you said, like so like obsessed and fixated on it. And this can be the first year where you actually go into the holidays and you're like, I actually enjoyed myself. Like the food was really good. I don't feel guilty. I can wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna eat it again.
And you don't feel stuffed. Like, that's one of the worst feelings. Like, remember how sick, like, we used to feel at the end of Thanksgiving of just, like, you feel, like, nauseous. Like, from all the alcohol, like, the high-calorie food, all that.
I'm not kidding.
Fat.
Like, there was one Christmas where I ate so much because I was just trying to get it in. And I was sitting...
That was so gross.
You and Michelle were, like, in bed or whatever, and I was sitting on your bedroom floor, and I was laughing, and I was laughing so hard that I actually like threw up a little bit because I had like, it was just like coming up because I was so full.
Because your digestion's up to here because you stuffed yourself. Right. And like we do that's the sad part. We do it all the time.
Right. And especially with this season being busy, like let's face it, no one has just like one Thanksgiving or like one like Christmas or like, you know, like holiday days anymore. Like it's usually like multiple days of celebrating. Don't go in with the mindset of this is my only chance to eat it. Practice being mindful, make sure you're set up with the right type of reverse diet, and make sure you're on a calorie cycle and you're not going to overeat this holiday season.